Intel CPU market share drops down drastically in Korean DIY market, AMD Ryzen CPUs fill in the gap. Intel's CPU market share is starting to drop down drastically as consumers now deem AMD's Ryzen CPU offerings to be a much better option. Intel is having a hard time sustaining the markets as the firm unable to recoup consumer trust following CPU instability issues. Well, it won't be wrong to say that Intel's CPU dominance in the DIY market is in a declining trend, or this is what figures report, given that a report from the Korean IT component and system selling platform Danwana shows that Intel CPU sales have dropped down massively, giving AMD the edge over market dominance. The DIY CPU market share report claims that Intel's CPU market share has dropped down to 45%, recording a decline of more than 10% in a matter of months only, and with that, AMD's Ryzen processors have emerged as a clear winner in gaining consumer confidence. The reason behind this drastic drop in market share isn't unknown at all, since we all are well aware of Intel's 14th gen and 13th gen CPU instability issue, which had plagued the markets to the extent that it was said more than 8 million CPU units were affected, and this figure didn't take the global markets in perspective. So, this massive Intel CPU market share drop in Korean markets shows that Team Blue's offerings are no longer seen as reliable, and the firm has witnessed a 10% drop in market dominance, which is shocking to see. As expected, this has created an opportunity for the likes of AMD, which is why Team Red has seen a formidable increase in CPU market share, consistently staying over 50% in the past few months. System integrators and retailers have seen a decent rise in demand for AMD Ryzen processors, with SKUs such as the Ryzen 5 7500F performing quite well in the regional markets. With the debut of the new AM5 socket type, AMD saw an incline in demand, which ultimately increased the sales of AM5 relevant products, such as motherboards and memory. However, not all is rainbows for AMD, since their newest Ryzen 9000 series CPUs have seen a slowed down start in the Korean markets, and this is indeed consistent across global marketplaces as well. We recently revealed that AMD's high-end Ryzen 9 9900X CPU dropped 8% below MSRP in Europe just days after launch, showing that the demand is not picking up, mainly due to how AMD didn't manage to meet the hype. Overall, the CPU markets are witnessing a bearish scenario, with Intel and AMD both slacking in their respective segments. However, there is still hope, given that Team Blue has planned to launch their next-gen Arrow Lake-S desktop CPUs by October, and AMD is planning a Ryzen 9000 by 3D series, too.